Great Scott! It's time for another episode.
If we could time travel like they did in Back to the Future, I feel like we would go and say, hey, stop using single-use plastics. That is not cool.
Not cool, you guys. We should also take back solar panels.
That'd be nice.
Priorities.
We're changing a lot.
We're going against everything Doc says.
Today we're talking about how the 1950s gave us some not so great ideas.
Like throwaway culture.
But also some really great ideas. One in particular that saves time and water.
The dishwasher.
Yeah, no DeLorean needed. Just a little soap and strategy.
One can hope.
So, Eleisha, your birthday has always been on October 26th.
That's right, Ali. Always. Like my whole life.
Since the day you were born.
Yep. Never changed. So imagine my delight when we were watching Back to the Future the other night for pizza movie night. And I learned that Marty McFly went back to the future on October 26th.
Your birthday. 1985.
Right? I'm just slightly older.
Wait, it's your actual birthday.
No, I'm slightly older than that.
Oh, right.
But you know who's counting.
We felt like it would be a good time to bring up things from the past that have made their way back into our households as a more sustainable option.
Things like milk in glass containers. It used to be where there was someone who delivered the milk in the glass bottles. You would use it, put the empties out. They would take them, refill them. And now they actually have more and more grocery stores that are allowing you to get milk in glass bottles that you put a deposit in for the container. And then when you bring that container back, you get that deposit back.
Yeah, isn't that great? And what's so funny to me is every time mom and dad or my in-laws come over, they're like, glass and milk containers? What? That's back when I was a kid.
Bringing it back.
Yeah. Bringing sexy milk back. As I mentioned before, I'm in the diaper phase of life, of parenting, and we're using primarily cloth diapers. Those have changed significantly.
I do remember the first time Mom was going to babysit, and she was like, she uses cloth diapers. Like, I think she was really nervous it was going to be how it was whenever she was changing her brother.
Oh, yeah. When I told her, I was like, we're going to cloth diaper, and she's like, Allie, no. Allie, no. Like, you can't do it. They're disgusting.
And hard to like pin and all of that.
And they're so much easier than you can imagine. They've come a long way.
And no waste. My favorite thing that has been brought back, but in a new improved version as well, is the safety razor. Where you're using the blades to refill the razor. It's completely metal. And it's not like a butterfly or a straight edge razor, which is a little terrifying to think of. It's actually a pivot head razor, so it can go along all the different curves of the legs.
Knees, your armpits. I remember when you first told me about it, you were like, this thing's awesome. And I was like, there's no way that is awesome. It's terrifying. And then I tried it, and I was like, oh, it feels just like...
And did you feel like a queen?
I felt very luxurious. It felt very fancy.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's a higher price point starting off, but you actually end up saving over $1,000.
And in theory, you have it your entire life, and it could be an heirloom.
Yeah,
even
lifetime warranty. Plus, we actually take the blades back at the shop, and they're melted down to make cutlery.
Cutlery is another thing, like washable flatware is another thing that people are using more of. They're bringing it with them so they don't have to use plastic disposable utensils.
That's true. We sell a lot of sporks because people have now started carrying their own utensils when they know they're going to be having lunch out or...
And they're going to be sporking around.
What does that mean? For some reason, the song, My Mama Told Me, You better spork around. Makes no sense.
I think that's the lyrics.
Clearly. Not only are they bringing cutlery, but they're also bringing like napkins.
Yeah, fabric napkins that you just wash when you get back home. They're so handy too because then you just always have a napkin.
When our daughter was going to preschool, they required that the kids have like a paper towel napkin or paper whatever. I think just because that was an easy thing. In our daughter's lunchbox, we include a fabric napkin so that she can use it with her lunch.
Cool story, bro. It's a good one. So Elisha's daughter is currently obsessed with Back to the Future and had me watch it a few weeks ago when she came to visit.
Yeah,
and it's a great movie.
She also convinced the girls at the birthday slumber party she attended last night to watch Back to the Future.
That's really funny. Did they like it?
I guess.
I mean, it's a really fun movie.
Yeah.
A fun takeaway is that the DeLorean was powered by food scraps and leftover beer and stuff.
Yeah, he came back from 2015, throws some compost in. Who needs gasoline anymore? You know what I mean? It was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So he goes back to the 1950s, which incidentally is when throwaway culture was first introduced.
Didn't see that connection coming. Did you?
In 1955, Time had an article that basically was encouraging people to use disposable plates and cutlery and all of the things to make it easier and faster for housekeepers or women to throw away all of these things instead of having to wash them.
You know what this reminds me of? There was an episode of Mad Men that we recently watched.
Yeah.
And they have a picnic, but they're using paper plates and stuff. And at the end of the picnic, they just shake off the blanket and leave all the trash.
Oh, no.
Which you know that was, I mean, it was set in the 60s, I think, early 60s, but you know that's what they were probably doing. They're like, I don't have to deal with it.
I remember watching a movie. It was the one about Michelle Williams was in it with it was like about Steven Spielberg's.
Oh. No. Oh, about his life?
Yeah. I remember watching that movie, and there's a scene where it's like an overhead bird's eye view of it, and they're all around the dinner table or whatever, and it's like this plastic tablecloth, and they're all eating, and it's all disposable. And then at the end, she takes it, and she takes it like this, and then she throws the whole thing in the trash. And I had already started living low waste at that point, and I was like,
yeah, did you know that was happening? And it's probably still happening. Not quite to that extreme. Like, I don't think anyone's taking the whole tablecloth. Maybe at parties.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Americans kind of had to be taught to waste because this was coming after the generation of the Great Depression where people saved everything.
Reused
Nothing
everything.
went to waste.
Right.
You mended your clothes. You would grow your own foods or like keep all the scraps and make a stock or clean the aluminum foil to reuse.
Right.
You
save fabric scraps
everything.
to quilt with or stuff things with.
And so this was kind of a be free and waste because you can and you'll save time. This is a different era
And you know
kind of
what?
a thing.
Who cares about future generations?
Well, that wasn't a thought at all, which is kind of amazing to think about now.
Well, they had no idea what the repercussions would be.
Well, that's debatable.
The consumer had no idea.
The consumer had no idea. Yeah.
And most still don't.
Depression mantra was kind of use it up, wear it out, make do, or do without.
It's like the low waste. It's like the 5 R's, but in a mantra.
Yeah, the 5 R's. Refuse.
Reduce.
Reuse.
Recycle.
Rot.
Which is appropriate that rot is at the bottom because like decay.
We'll also be diving way more into this in future episodes, I'm sure.
We'll have to. There's so much.
Going back to the Time article, the sell was that it would take you 40 hours to clean all of the dishes in this picture. But if you could just throw it away, then you save those 40 hours.
It's tempting.
And what I thought was really fascinating is this was in the 50s, which is around the same time the dishwasher was starting to become more available to households, but it was still super expensive. So they could have gone dishwasher route, but they really pushed
Right.
disposable route.
Because the dishwasher would save all that time.
Oh, yeah. Would save the time and no waste, but it costs a lot more.
You had mentioned this, and so I looked into when the dishwasher was actually invented.
Oh, okay.
It was invented by a woman, girl power, Josephine Cochran,
Fantastic.
in the 1800s, because she had her fine china. She had help around the house, and they were washing her dishes, and they kept chipping them. So she wanted to invent a way to wash them that instead of needing friction from a brush or whatever, it would use water power.
Oh, like water pressure.
Water pressure.
And so she invented. Well, so in the 1800s,
Isn't that right?
if that's the case, why did it take so long for it to end up in the 1950s? Like, why did it take so long for us to have them in homes?
Well,
was it that expensive?
It was that expensive. It was, I think the equivalent now would be something like $7,000. Yeah. So no one was doing that.
No.
But she patented it and took it to the World Fair, and then had this brilliant idea to start selling it to hotels and restaurants.
Oh, who
Who could afford it and who needed to get through dishes faster. And then it slowly made its way into homes, and then obviously now it's a pretty standard appliance.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Thanks, Josephine.
Thank you, Josephine.
I hope you were nice to your staff when they chipped your dishes.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen people question the efficiency of a dishwasher, wondering if it's actually more sustainable.
Oh, I get this all the time with people coming into the shop.
Yeah, so obviously I've looked it up to make sure, but according to the National Program Manager for Homes and Buildings at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's Water Sense program,
That's a lot.
you're probably never going to be able to outperform your dishwasher when it comes to saving water. You would have to somehow wash 8 place settings. I'm going to read what this includes because it's important that you grasp
What's
it.
a place setting? Yeah. Like a plate and a fork and a knife and a spoon.
Wrong.
And a glass.
Maybe at your lame parties.
Okay, what is a place setting?
This is, so the place settings,
8 of them.
8 of them. So 8 cups, 8 saucers, 8 dinner plates, bread and butter plates, fruit bowls, straight side iced tea glasses. It's very important that that's the glass.
This is a southern party.
Dinner forks, salad forks, knives, 16 teaspoons. Everyone gets 2. 1 platter, 2 serving bowls, 2 serving spoons, and 1 serving fork. You would have to hand wash all of that in 2 minutes to be as efficient as your dishwasher.
Bring it.
You're like,
Is it okay if I chip them?
I thought it's hard?
Ain't no thing. I'll do it in my sleep.
Hand washing uses 5 times as much water as an efficient dishwasher and 3.5 times more water than an average dishwasher. So even if you just have a regular dishwasher, it's better. It's more sustainable.
So something else that we tell people in the shop whenever they're getting their refillable dishwasher powder is that they also shouldn't be rinsing the dishes before they're putting it in the dishwasher. And this is a debate that when you bring it up, there are people that will swear that you should.
I remember our dishes, when we were growing up, the dishes had to be practically clean before we put them in the dishwasher.
Right.
Which seemed...
Well, just wait till you find out why you should not do that. It's
Okay.
not about just saving water, which it does. but there's actually something called a turbidity sensor.
Okay.
And in
That sounds awful.
it's good.
Oh.
It measures the amount of cloudiness in the water. So if you are rinsing your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher, that first rinse is what will tell the turbidity sensor whether or not it needs to do a lot of like high water pressure or if it needs to just do a little bit.
I did not know about this.
Yeah. And this is the thing that people can't really argue with it at that point. Like you have to have that sensor and it has to be able to say, yeah, these are kind of dirty, so I'm going to really try it this time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's so important to not, you just scrape the food off instead of washing it.
Exactly. You scrape all the solid off. You don't want the solid.
Because I've seen before that what's left on should be smaller than a grain of rice.
Exactly. Now, there's also the filter at the bottom, which a lot of people don't know about.
Right.
That should be rinsed out every 3 months. And that's what catches all that leftover tiny little solid pieces that are inevitably going to end up.
You taught me a good trick, which is just to set the timer on your phone, the alarm for the date every 3 months, and then it just reminds you and you're like, oh yeah, I got to go do that.
Exactly. Otherwise, I would forget. Sometimes if you look at your dishes after they come out of the washer, you're like, these are not clean. 1, are you rinsing before?
Right.
2, have you cleaned out your filter at the bottom?
Also, are you using the right amount of soap?
Yeah, that's another one. Because every dishwasher is a little bit different. So you want to watch. If they come out and they're too cloudy, that means you have too much soap. Cut back. Ideally, you're using a biodegradable soap so you're not harming aquatic life. The other thing that I tell people, I get really excited about dishwashers. People come in.
Guys.
But the other thing that's really important is to make sure that that top drawer is pushed all the way in so that it connects with the hose in the back. Because if you don't connect with the hose in the back, then the water comes out and it just goes. Instead,
how does it? Oh, as opposed to
whenever it goes in and it makes that little thing spin and go.
Oh, right. So what is bad again? And then, all right. For those of you who can't see, the hand gesture here is crucial because the water is just dumping down. Elisha's really acting out what the water is doing. So when you hear,
I've basically transformed into a dishwasher for those of you who can't see.
Okay, and another thing.
Yeah.
You should wait till you have a full load to run your dishwasher to be the most efficient.
There are some models even right now that you can do like top only.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't know.
Super efficient. Why?
I don't have a dishwasher.
Oh, right. Yours broke.
No, the dishwasher's fine.
Oh, the dishwasher's fine?
The dishwasher works, but because the pipe to the septic is backed up, we were washing dishes and they would
No.
It was just the like food water getting in there.
Oh, okay.
The not like
so
sewage.
the dishwasher's not working.
Yes. So we've been hand washing everything and it's not taken a toll on our marriage per se. No. I mean, we haven't had a dishwasher in years, so this was our first dishwasher.
Right. Well,
we didn't have one in New York.
Right. And when we lived in New York, we also did not have a dishwasher.
So it just feels like we're back to that. But
it's a luxury item for sure, hands down.
Definitely.
Okay, so you don't need a new dishwasher. But for anyone that does need a new dishwasher, try to look for the certified ones, the Energy Star that lets you know they're more efficient.
Sometimes you get a little credit when
That's
you
true.
do those, right?
Mm-hmm. Like I know our utility company will give you a credit if you're installing different energy certified appliances.
That's nice.
A little rebate. And then the last thing is you're still going to have dishes that will need to be hand washed. So I always suggest doing those dishes first and then running the dishwasher because the dishwasher doesn't actually heat up the water. It's just taking the hot water from the hot tap. Okay. So if you're washing your dishes first and getting that hot water already there, then you're going to activate the detergent better with that hot water. You could also lastly, I told you. I know a thing or two about dishwashers these days.
I haven't seen you this excited in years, like since we were kids.
You get me talking about dishwashers.
That
How
is a
long
party.
is this podcast?
You know, we helped you plan a Halloween party, but really, dishwasher party is where it's at.
The last thing I have to say about dishwashers is we often will have people say that they still have hard water spots, which does, by the way, does not mean that your dishes are dirty. It just means you have hard water. But if you really want... Oh, am I boring you with my dishwasher talk?
No, that was, I love hearing about this.
What you can try doing is putting a bowl of a little vinegar in it, and then that helps with hard water stains. You put a bowl full of vinegar on the top shelf, and you let it do its thing. You don't want to put vinegar in the rinse aid because that can get into the machinery parts and start corroding it.
Listeners, aka Mom, I wish you could see Alicia's face right now because she is glowing. She is so passionate about dishwashers. Like, I haven't seen this spark in years. So I don't want to take away your joy, but we're doing a lot of hand washing at our house for obvious reasons. And plenty of people are hand washing. Not everyone has a dishwasher.
Yeah, but there are ways to hand wash your dishes in a sustainable manner.
Yes. So
Such as
we'll have a big bowl of hot water that we can soak the dishes in and like get the grime off instead of having the water running the whole time.
Okay.
You could also fill up the sink with water, but I prefer to have a separate situation. So we'll let those soak, scrub with either... I use a compostable scrubber that I got from your refinery.
Oh, a wooden one.
A wooden one with the replaceable head.
Right.
But we also use a chainmail scrubber for our cast iron.
Great for cast iron.
Yes.
And for the glass casserole dishes that have like brown baked on good stuff.
Yeah, they're not as good for like standard pots and pans because they can scratch. We don't use them on our stainless because we don't want to scratch. Yeah, they definitely scratch. But there's also a wooden compostable pot scrubber that's very effective. The bristles are nice and
I use a pot
sturdy.
scraper. It's like a little bamboo pot scraper.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
I could give you one.
You would do that?
I
For me?
Yeah. Consider it your Christmas and birthday.
You know what? That's okay.
And Valentine's.
That's okay. We'll think of something else for those holidays. Okay, so we'll soak and scrub in the big tub of water and then rinse the soap off. So that
I like that I'm watching you wash your dishes right now.
I'm really acting it. I'm going through the motions so that I feel like I'm really getting into this character of dishwashing. You can also, I haven't done this yet, but I need to get an aerator.
Right. We installed these whenever we moved into the shop to lower the amount of water that's used, but you still have a lot of pressure.
And they're like $5.
They're so inexpensive, yeah.
Our faucet doesn't release a ton of water to begin with, but I think this would help with pressure.
Well, yeah, and that's a good point, too, because they also, if you're in the market for a new faucet, like maybe yours is broken or something.
It was just our handles that fell off. The part that spits water is fine, okay?
Sorry.
Our house is falling apart. We bought it 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's not like a new build either.
No.
Which is fun. I didn't say that thinking about your faucet, but then as I started to say, if you're in the market for a new faucet, if you are in the market for a new faucet, you can get low flow faucets. Low flow faucets.
Low flow. I want to read this note I want to actually read it instead of saying it from memory.
Okay.
Because you wrote this and I really like how you worded it. We opt for biodegradable dish soap that doesn't harm aquatic life because other soaps remove the external mucus layers, damage gills, and can kill fish eggs in high quantities. External mucus layers was my band name in high school. Every couple months, I bring a bottle for you to fill up with dish soap. You have it at the refillery. And biodegradable soap is recommended for septic tanks.
Yeah, we have no idea why. We haven't really done the research on there, but that's what they say. And if they say if they say it,
it must be true.
We read it on the internet, so that's clearly true.
My aunt's former boss's cousin posted on Facebook about it. So it was very convincing.
I will say, anytime you can use a biodegradable soap, you're better off.
Yeah. Another option is the dish block.
Yeah, solid. People are either team solid or team liquid.
I'm team liquid.
I also am team liquid, but only because of the mess that a solid makes.
I'm not. I did not ever learn. I know people use it and don't have issues with it, but I could not use a dish block.
Didn't work for you.
It just didn't work for me.
That's why, I mean, some people love it.
They really do. And it is a great plastic-free option.
Plastic-free, it's concentrate, so you're not like dealing with water.
Right.
I also really love, this is the thing that I wish I could figure out a combo duo situation. And I guess maybe there's one that exists in like an automatic techie kind of a way. But what
is
I
it
really,
a dishwasher? Because that's been invented. Like this woman, Josephine Cochran, did it a long time ago.
So maybe, okay.
Did you miss that? I literally just told you about her.
What I was going to say is with the dishwasher block, I like that you don't have to like put down your scrubber and then pick up the dish soap.
Oh, that's true.
Or, that kind of a thing. With the block, you can just, you've got your little scrub brush and you just reach over and you. And
we have a like pump.
Yeah, so but even then you got to pump. You got to take that hand.
Pump it up. You know what is so funny to me?
What?
We have had like a little bit of a nod to Halloween every episode.
Yeah.
Except for this one, which is a mere days before Halloween.
Yeah, people have already like figured it out though. And you know what? Maybe people are listening to this after Halloween because they've been busy going to those Halloween parties or that haunted trail in Louisiana.
That's true. Maybe you got the pass in your boo basket.
Maybe, see?
And you're just getting back.
Yeah, and you're like, I've been missing that podcast, One Can Hope.
So we have brought you on quite the journey.
We brought you time travel. We brought you throwaway culture. We brought you more dishwasher information than you probably ever wanted to know.
The most riveting dishwasher information you've ever heard. This is now officially a dishwasher podcast, and we're renaming it Discoveries. Ideally, this episode has helped you dismantle some wasteful habits.
One can hope.